Hey everybody, warm greetings from the high 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans on this Tuesday, December 15th, 10 days shy of Christmas. Thanks for joining me. I'd like to bring you an update to a story I brought you yesterday pertaining to a African American child abandoned at a Goodwill in South Haven, Mississippi. And this is the sad information pertaining to that storyline. The accused female is Antoinette Smith, and she's being accused of abandoning her child at a Goodwill in South Haven, Mississippi. So what we have to understand or wonder if it is true about the child. The child was seen with two men and a woman in a red SUV at the gas station next door. One of the males, approached a worker at the Goodwill drop-off center and asked if they could leave the baby because they said the mother had abandoned the child. A Memphis activist by the name of Barbara Burris says the mom met up with the man on Sunday, went to Nashville, and left Sergio, the child, with his sister in Memphis. He later told Ms. Smith that, indeed, the lady that they left the child with is not his aunt, but it is his girlfriend. Miss Smith says she would have never done that had she known that the lady that she left the child with was his girlfriend. Her statement is, quote, "That's all I got. Hello, hello, Nitra." He then abandoned her in a Nashville store after she refuses to prostitute for him. He says, "You better get out there and sell some ass," all that type of stuff. She said, "I told him I'm not doing nothing." The FBI arrested one person in connection to this case at a Cordova Kroger on Monday. Law enforcement is not releasing the name of the said male who was arrested in connection to this case. Hello, everyone in the chat. I will address you all when I'm done with my information. In Mississippi, it is legal to surrender a baby up to 3 days after birth, but only to emergency services providers. Ms. Burris, the said activist in Memphis, says Ms. Smith is returning to Memphis area after Ms. Burris has arranged for her to be picked up in Nashville. So I'm going to give you my commentary. Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. I'm going to start off by saying this. I have a lot of questions. I'm going to address every possible scenario pertaining to this case, and then we will go from there, and you can give your commentary. So, it has been proven or verified that Miss Smith was in Memphis at the time that the child was abandoned in South Haven, Mississippi. Did the mom leave the kid with the lady, or did the guy leave the kid with the lady? Who are the three people on the camera with the baby? Is it the guy and his girlfriend, or is it the guy and his aunt? Who were the three people? The two men and the woman getting out of the red SUV, dropping the baby off at the Goodwill. Yes, please hit the like button and super chat a queen if you feel like it. I won't mind. Thanks a lot for joining me. Did she go to prostitute for the said guy? Did he tell her where they were going when she hooked up with him on Sunday? Was the plan to get rid of the baby all along? What happened in Nashville when she got there? Because as I state, did she go willingly to Nashville to prostitute? And why did he say that the baby is now with the girlfriend? So did something pop off in Nashville? They had words. Was it an issue about money? Or did she get to Nashville and not know that that's where they were going to, or for her to prostitute? They had words, and then that's when he tells her, "Oh, by the way, the baby's not with my auntie, the baby's with my girlfriend." I don't really understand that. Did he get mad at her because she would not let him pimp her out? So he decided to take the kid, leave her in Nashville, go back to South Haven, Mississippi, and drop off the baby at the Goodwill drop-off as retribution to get back at Smith. Why did this lady not have anyone available to keep her child? Did she have no friends in the area where she lived? Where does she live? Does she live in South Haven, Mississippi? Or does she live in Memphis, Tennessee? Or outside of Memphis, outside of Mississippi? Most of you who are not familiar, South Haven is at the top. It is right below Memphis, Tennessee. They're all connected. Cordova, South Haven, and Memphis, Tennessee. Just crossing the border into South Haven, Mississippi. Why did she not leave her child with someone that she knew of? Did she know this lady that she left her baby? As I state, did the guy leave the baby? Is she complicit to dumping the child at Goodwill? What in the hell happened in Nashville, Tennessee to get this party crunk? And that's what I'm bringing to you today. It's that the mother has spoken. There is an activist by the name of Miss Burris speaking on her behalf, who is a Memphis activist, and she is saying that the girl met up with the male Sunday. They went to Nashville, Tennessee. He decided to tell her that he wanted her to prostitute for him. She told him no, so he left her there in Nashville and went back to, I guess, the Memphis, South Haven area. That's where the story is sketchy. What actually happened when she met with this guy? What was the motive of her meeting up with this guy? Was it a hookup? How did she meet him? Where did they meet? How long have they dated, talked? Did she know that he was a pimp? Is he really a pimp? A wannabe pimp? What in the hell is going on? I got 10, 11 in the room, 6 thumbs up. Thanks for joining me. This is the storyline tonight. I will not try to be on very long tonight because I would like to just stick to the agenda of the subject matter and not, go into long-winded lives, because I would like a lot of people to, get adjusted to the channel and get adjusted to the said commentary. And I don't want people having to sit so long watching the videos. So if you all don't mind, I'd like to just, you all jump right in and give your 411 on what you think is going on with this Antoinette Smith. The story sounds fishy, Nitra says. See, that's the thing. I don't know what's going on with this situation. The only thing that shows favor for Antoinette is that she happened to be in Nashville at the time. Well, I realize the story don't make no sense. It doesn't make any sense because hold on, I can knock somebody down. So I'm getting real aggravated now. Somebody sending me a stupid message while I'm on live. Oh Lord have mercy. Anyway, she was in Memphis. She was in Nashville, excuse me. So that's the only thing that shows favor, that possibly she went to Nashville with this guy under false pretenses. Who knows? Because we don't know what's the truth. This is just her version. Some people think in the comment section below in the article, you can find this article in the Newsbreak article. Some people think perhaps that well, Nitra, you're right. Wouldn't take no for an answer. But see, that's the whole thing. What is he going to do? Beat her? You're going to beat her? We know he took her out of town. If he did take her out of town to be pimped out, he did it sensibly out of town. That way nobody catches a charge for anything in their area where they live. But that's the whole point of the story, is did he take her there to pimp her out? And if he wanted to beat her, okay, that's why are you going to risk catching a charge? That's the whole purpose of going out of town. So really, what the hell went on with these two? What was the gist of the relationship between Antoinette and this guy? Why the hell would you leave your baby with somebody you do not know? And that's something that's baffling as well. So see, this is where all the parts of the story start to get grainy, fuzzy, and suspicious. Right. He could have fooled her, because men can tell you anything. Hey, homegirl, I'm going to come pick you up. We're going to ride out. We're going to go to Nashville and kick it. Woo, woo, woo. See, we don't know what's the truth because we don't know the people involved. He could have easily duped her and said, yeah, come on, we're going to ride out. Get your babysitter. Woo, woo, woo. So she could have said, well, I don't have nobody to keep my baby. And so then he said, oh, I got an auntie. She can keep the baby. I'll pay her a couple of dollars. Woo, woo, woo. But see, you don't never know. Oh, Patricia thinks she's desperate for attention. Well, see, this is why I said, when a story like this, you do not know what to believe. And naturally, on the Newsbreak article, lots of people had negative things to say about Antoinette, very nasty things. But right, she was comfortable leaving town with a stranger. Well, let me tell you, Nitra, I will tell all of you, a queen has done some crazy stuff back in the day when she was younger. Let me tell you. Oh yes, oh yes. Now, no one the children involved, but a queen would go out of town on a whim, visiting people, riding with people, and stupefied. It was because this is how you get hurt. This is how you end up dead. And that's one point that nobody made loud and clear. She could have ended up dead. The baby could have ended up dead because we don't really know what is the motive of Antoinette hooking up with this guy. Could it be she did go out with him to go prostitute? Something jumped off in Nashville. They had words. He left her tail there, came back, went to the lady's house, whoever house it was who had the baby, and had them take the baby to the Goodwill. But this is just crazy. All of it's crazy because you don't know what to believe. You don't know to believe Antoinette. You don't know if the guy misled her. You don't know if they actually conspired to go somewhere for her to make some money. And she left her baby with his so-called family, baby mama, girlfriend. But I tell you what, right, how long have they known each other? That's a very valid question, Nitra. And like I told you, with all the things going on with social media and people using social media as a way to hook up, and you can easily get yourself duped into something by meeting strangers online because we don't know how they met. While we know she could have been on a date site. Who's to say? She met this guy and he said, come on, girl, we're going to go spend a couple of days out of town. I want you to ride with me. Woo, woo, woo. She enamored. She getting a chance to go somewhere and do something. As we see, COVID's got folks still acting crazy, doing crazy stuff. Maybe she said, okay. But she let him know, I don't have no babysitter. And he said, oh, well, my sister can keep your baby. I'll pay a couple dollars. I'll give us some money to keep your kid. Why wouldn't he? Let's just say it's true. He wanted to pimp her out. He thought, okay, I'll pay. I'll pay for somebody to keep your child. But see, that's where it gets real fuzzy. The people that dropped the baby out said, oh, the mother abandoned the baby. We just want to leave the baby here. And a guy who's only going by the name of Dave took the child and called the authorities. Well, Nidra, what does a pimp look like? Let's go there. And leader, you're right. Unbelievable situations. Well, let's just be truthful. We all as humans get wrapped up in stuff because you see older people who have been doing crazy stuff as well, meeting people they don't know, doing stuff with people. Just like I've always said, people become lax in their behavior. They become very trustworthy of strangers. Talking to strangers, getting in cars with strangers, inviting strangers to your house. People do it all the time. We all have been guilty of talking to people that we probably shouldn't have talked to, getting in their car, getting a ride with somebody. First time meet, let them come to your house. A lot of us have done it. And even if you don't do it now as an older person, you did it when you was younger. You let a guy come to your house you met at Walmart or at a club. You let him come to your house either that night or a day later too, but you didn't know him. You didn't know him. And you can actually date a guy or a woman for days, a week or two, and finally let them in your house. That does not mean, as my aunt would say, that he or she will play fair when they get there. You see, because you don't know people. I mean, you hear horrific stories of people who have actually dated people, married people who they thought they knew, and then they come back with a sad story of, he was using me. He was stealing my money. He did this. He beat me. He was a womanizer. He was this. He was that. Well, and that's the thing too, Nitra. Yes, he could have been into sex trafficking. He met this girl. He lied to her about where they were going. She probably thought maybe she met a little cutie. He was going to take her away for the weekend or take her somewhere. But let's keep it real. If you talking to a man on a Sunday Most people got sense enough to know on Monday, folks got to get up and go to work. So where y'all going on a Sunday when there's not much going on and not much open? You get my drift? So you have to weigh every little thing, every little detail is what gets you closer to the truth. He picked up on a Friday. It'd be no problem saying, hey, what's up, homegirl? We're going to ride out. We're going to go spend a weekend in Nashville. Okay, cool. But on a Sunday, where you going? What you get ready to do on a Sunday in Nashville when folks got to go to work on Monday morning? Well, see, Nietzsche, that's the whole point of the story of that as well. We don't know if she has family. Think about it. Why would a woman leave her baby with a strange woman if she had family or somebody who could have kept her child? As I just stated, think about the day they went to Nashville on a Sunday. What is going on a Sunday in Nashville? If she left town. Time or town, what you saying? See, that's why all of this is sketchy. Because of the day that they left. What did he tell her they were going to go do in Nashville? Hell, did he even tell her where they were going? Did he just say we're going to ride out? What was he going to do? Did he have another guy with him? Because remember they said two guys were seen with a lady and the baby next door to the store, to the Goodwill. She might have ran off on the plug. Well, she may have. She may have. But then that means what? They got a hotel room. She made the money for him. And then she did what? Walked out with the money and then ran and played wolf to the authorities that she's up here stranded. I'm just saying. When you're dealing with certain type of situations, you do not know what to believe. And this is that story where you don't have no idea what the hell is going on. Because I'm telling you, I'm befuddled with this one. Cheers, everybody. In the chat. Because I don't really understand what the hell was going on. But baby Sergio is allegedly in good hands, which to me means what too? Who the hell got the baby? Well, that's my point, is what is the truth? She didn't come back for her kids, so they put her on Front Street. I don't understand that. What you mean? Well, the thing you got to always remember is that the baby was left in a whole nother state. The baby was left in Mississippi or taken over to Mississippi. See, we don't even know if the girl lives in Memphis. We don't know if she lives in Mississippi. See, we don't know none of that. We just know that's where the baby was dropped off. But see, those of you who are not familiar with Tennessee and Mississippi, Mississippi sits right up under Tennessee. You can just cross over. It's kind of like states where you cross the street. One side of the street is this, Illinois. The other side of the street is Wisconsin or whatever. That's how Mississippi and Tennessee rolls. You cross over, boom, you're in Mississippi. So that's the point. We do not know where Antoinette is from. All the activists said is she's going to be returned to the Memphis area. So one can believe that she lives in the Memphis area. Well, they already have one in custody. Well, you're right. Arkansas is next door too. Well, you're right. Arkansas, you're right. AW, you're right. Arkansas is close. For those who don't know that either, Arkansas is right next door too. So that's what's all crazy. You don't know anything. Oh, Lord, look at you. I'm going to look for her Facebook page. I meant to do that earlier, but honey, I want to get me some rest. I said, I'm the queen going to rest because I meant to Google how far Cordova was from South Haven and how far South Haven is from Memphis, Tennessee, but it's right close. Trust me. You're not traveling no long way. That's the 411 today. That was the story that was updated. I was about to Google it. Okay. So if you want to, Patricia, you're going to go to her Facebook page and see what she's talking about. and come back in the chat and give us the 411 of what you discovered about Miss Antoinette Smith. I think this is a very baffling story. One thing I'm glad is that the FBI got involved right away once the baby was retrieved from the Goodwill. I'm very happy that the FBI got involved because there's always this bad hype about black people, black young people going missing, and FBI and detectives not getting involved and taking the missing cases serious. So with this case, the child wasn't missing. He was dropped off, but I'm still glad nonetheless that the FBI got involved to see what is going on with this child, who his parents are, and how he came to be at the Goodwill. But see, this is what I told you all yesterday. Didn't I tell you can be seen anywhere? Yes. Hi, Melissa. How you doing? You can't do anything without leaving a blueprint. I told you all this recently. Her last name is, I think it says Smith. Wait a minute. Antoinette Smith. Antoinette. Last name Smith. So you all give me the 411. I'm probably going to look her up when I get off this live, see what she's talking about. You know, usually I do not Google people. I do not go to Facebook when I do a story. That's just something I don't do. I don't go straight to Facebook and look up anything about a person. It just really depends on the storyline. If I decide if I want to go over to Facebook and do any, 211. Because, 211 means you don't know if that's the truth or not. Because Facebook is a liar. No, there's no age for her. Her last name is Smith. First name, Antoinette. The article did not give an age of her. They didn't give an age of the guy. They have not released the name of the guy who's been arrested. And see, that's another thing. Did she even go to Nashville with two people? Because remember, it says, you're welcome, Patricia. Remember, the article states that two people and a girl got out of the car dropping off the baby at the gas station. Even with all them face checkers, Melissa, don't start no mess. Be kind. Be kind, Melissa. This is excuse me, wrong pipe, as my mama used to say. Well, Lita, you're right. It could be a trafficking situation. It is easy to be judgmental because of the version that the female is giving. And a lot of people in the article, if you go to news break, you'll read the commentary. A lot of people think she's involved. A lot of people think she just dumped her baby. And this is the version that she's giving. She's making up that she got left in Nashville. But we also have to remember that is where she was found. Somebody has to go pick her up in Nashville. So what you have to ask yourself is, how did she get to Nashville? How did her baby get to South Haven, Mississippi? Those are two different locations. So if we want to down her and say she lied, oh, Nietzsche, you read them? Okay, you said the yeah, because people are judgmental. People always assume the worst. Well, right, and that's what a lot of people felt like too. She didn't kill the child, but see, this is what I keep telling you all about this situation. Once again, we do not know the situation of baby Sergio. We do not know if he was eating, if he was being clothed, bathed, if he was being left alone in a house, a residence. We don't know if he's been abused physically, mentally, sexually. We don't know anything. We just see a cute little boy, a picture of him in the article, left at a Goodwill. Hell, we don't even know where the hell he lived. We have no idea. All we got is the mama saying, he's all I got. And naturally, as I state, the people in the comments were going off, how he all you got, but you left him with a stranger. You didn't care much about him if you left your baby with somebody you don't know. And now you're saying because you didn't want a prostitute for the guy, that's what he tells you. Oh, by the way, that baby with my girlfriend. My thing is, what difference do it make? Hell, I done left my baby with somebody. What difference do it make if it's your girlfriend now? Well, Nietzsche want to know. Y'all know y'all ask them. Y'all be all over the place with these comments. If the father was in the picture, Lord Jesus. There's a photo of the baby with some white lady. Where? You must have pulled up another article because I'm sure they got other articles up. I have not gone to Google and pulled up any articles pertaining to this story. I just went in the one that was sent to me in notification. I have not Googled any other articles pertaining to this story. That's probably why they haven't disclosed the men. What you mean, Lita? What you mean, baby? This is 15 in the room, 15 thumbs up. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining Everyday Shenanigans on this cold, cold night in the high 10. Lord have mercy, it's cold outside. Well, Nietzsche, I'm sure that's what she did, was call the police. Melissa says in time the story will pan out. Good evening, Joelle. How you doing, baby? Well, see, we're going to find out because I'm sure the police has seized everybody's phones so they can look at your text messages to see who said what to whom, where the phone calls, last ping. So we know she was in Memphis. Why keep saying Memphis? We know she was in Nashville because the Miss Beers, the activist, is saying that she has to send somebody up there to pick her up. Now I'm trying to figure out how this woman got involved. I don't know if she's white or black or what. But this lady who's an activist sending somebody to Nashville to pick her up. Nitra. Now, Nitra, you really being nice. I hope everything works out for the baby and the mom. Well, we will see. We just better hope we're not praying for a dirty mama that just threw her baby out somewhere to go get her a bag, go get her some money. She didn't give a damn about leaving her kid because you know them folks in them comments were saying all kind of crazy stuff about drugs and leaving the kids for drugs, getting rid of the kids for drugs, and we got to see a picture of Antoinette. I'm gonna have to go now look and see what Miss Antoinette looks like. Get the 411, or as I say, the 211, because you don't know what to believe. What is the truth? This lady white, she's walking with the baby with a bag in her hand. What are you saying, Lita? I thought that was a black woman in that picture. I didn't think that was a white woman. I thought maybe it was a lighter-skinned black girl. Lord hell, let me go. Let me go back. I know I looked at that picture with my glasses on. Now don't y'all start no mess. Oh, on Facebook? No, it's Miss Burris who allegedly, I don't know. See, that's why when you read them articles, sometimes those Newsbreak articles, they don't speak good English. Whoever writes those stories. So that's what I was wondering about. Hey, Just Queen, how you doing, baby? That article says Miss Burris did an interview through Facebook. So that's what I'm trying to understand. Who gave the interview? She gave the interview through Facebook with the girl or what? Or the girl, how did it work? Look, Lita said, oh, hell, oh, yeah, she black. I know she was black. You know, she wasn't a brown or dark-skinned girl. I mean, I think she was a lighter-skinned brown girl, but I knew she was a black girl. Knew she wasn't white. That baby, look, I'm not saying it, that interracial babies don't come out dark because they do, but I ain't never thought the girl in the picture was white. Before I saw the picture of the baby. I ain't never think nobody involved was white. And that's not to be racial or biased against my own race. I just never thought that. Because I can see a picture of the guy. He's got the mask and the floppy hat on. He looked African American, and then the girl walking with the kid looked African American to me. Now, I don't know if they got some white Antoinettes out there. Or as we say, white Keishas. Thank God she left the baby in the daytime. Well, it was 9-something in the morning, which I found interesting. And at a drop-off donation. Oh, okay, Nitra. Barbara Burris is an activist in Memphis, and she does stories on Facebook. So that's how the interview came to be. Obviously, she got information about the girl being stranded in Nashville, and maybe she reached out to the girl via the phone or something, messenger. I don't know. See, that's the whole thing about articles. They don't give you the 411 on everything and how people hooked up, because that's why I'm trying to figure out how did Miss Beers get a hold of Antoinette to even talk to her to arrange somebody to go pick her up. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, damn, Miss Beers, you ain't got no car to go drive and pick her up. I said that. Ting. I'm just asking. Miss Jenkins want to know. I'm not trying to make fun of the story, but it's a doozy. I don't know what y'all doing at the bottom of Tennessee, but baby, look, now y'all don't want me to get crunk on this live. I wish a Negro would. I wish a Negro would give me a ride anywhere and say to the Queen, I want you to get out. I want you to get out this car and I want you to make me some money. Sell some you know what and get out here and make some money. Okay. You talk about some smoke in the city. Well, see, as I keep trying to tell you all, I don't know anything. I just bring you all the said information. I ask the poignant questions pertaining to a storyline, and that's it. I knows nothing about this girl. I knows nothing about this activist. I knows nothing. All I can say is that this is a very strange and peculiar story. Well, and that's what I thought happened is that, you know, she got duped. She realized she didn't want to prostitute, if this is actually true. He left her, so she had no choice but to go call the police and tell them, hey, I'm stranded. I came up here with a guy. I thought we were going to sightsee, whatever. And then they made a way to get her back home. Leader, let me tell you something. I ain't gonna speak for me because I've done some crazy stuff. So let me tell you, Queen, back in the days, done some crazy stuff. I've done some crazy stuff. I ain't got to tell all my business, but let me tell you, a Queen, I was the type, I love to travel, I love to go. If somebody said, hey, Angie, you want to ride with me? You want to go out of town? Woo, woo, woo. I did it, you know, a few times with some gentlemen up north who were traveling, you know, out of town, New York. I rode with them. You know, nothing bad happened to me by the grace of God, but, you know, in hindsight, foolish to go rob somebody out of town, you know? And that's the thing. I could have been in that situation. Somebody could have told me, well, hey, I want you to go out here and stand on the corner, give you something cute to wear. Could have went down the same way. Well, right, something isn't adding up. Something. I wasn't fast. No, it wasn't fast like that. You know, I wasn't into drugs or using drugs or nothing like that. No prostitution. But what I'm saying is, I was the type of person, I traveled a lot. So when I went out of town on vacation, I had met men when I was out, and one or two would say, hey, I'm going to travel out of town. Would you like to ride with me? Woo, woo, woo. I met one and said, hey, you want to go to New York? I'm riding to New York. I'm going to visit a friend, or woo, woo, woo. So I rode with them. But you know what I'm saying? It's still a dangerous thing when you really don't know a person and you riding out of town in good faith, thinking you just going to go away for a day or two and come back. Who's to say he decided to do the same thing? He could have said, you know, because that's happened where they found some women in New York in a house stacked up like sardines, and they were trafficking those women. And they started watching them. I will listen to the mom interview later. Okay. They found some women in a house stacked up like sardines in there, and they were prostituting the women. They were putting stuff online or advertisement, and the men would come to a room and bed the women or whatever, pay the pimp, whatever, come on out, switch, next female. And there was an undercover sting that was done, and that's how they caught these people running this, you know, whorehouse, whatever you want to call it. And it was sad because it was like, dang, right in the heart of the city, in a regular old house, in a bureau, and that house was full of women being sold to the highest bidder. And you know, that's just sad. And you have people just dirty like that They'll meet women and lie to them and tell them anything. And next thing you know, they got you locked in a room. Now you can't get out. You know. So that's why you do have to be careful about meeting people, going places with people, going to people's houses, going to people's apartments, hooking up with people to ride places with them. Because if you don't know the person well enough, you don't know that their intentions is to hurt you, harm you, rape you, sodomize you, beat you, pimp you out. How would you know? And how they look, that don't mean nothing. You can have a pimp in a suit. You can have a pimp in an Armani suit. You can have a pimp in street clothes. Pimp is just a title that man made. Because you got women that are considered pimps, but they call them madams. You understand what I'm saying? It can go down any kind of way. You got women in relationships with men, and the men have come to them asking them to sell their bodies for them to make extra money. I know you love me, baby, but we can get this money. You see, that's somebody that don't even revere you as a woman or your girlfriend or wife. How can you just fix your mouth to go to a lady that you call yourself involved with and say, hey, what's up? Let's get some money. How you doing, Humbly? How you doing? And say, oh, come on, let's get this money. I know a quick way for you to make some money. We can advertise online. Woo, 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 Craigslist, blah, blah, blah. You get that money. I'll be in the hotel. I'll watch you, make sure nothing happen to you. You get the money, woo, woo, woo. Next. You love her? No, boo-boo, you don't love her. Because you don't love yourself. You don't love yourself. So you definitely don't love she. And a crazy woman would allow somebody to pimp her out. Period. I don't care. And I've heard men in conversations. They're not even men. They're dogs. And really ain't even good to compare a male to a dog. Because dogs are animals and they don't ask to be here. And they do what they have to do to survive. So you just ain't no word for you. Bottom feeder. That you ask a female to sell her body. Think about that now. Sell her body. And you get the money. Why in the world would I go out here and stand on a corner for hours and walk the street to get myself hacked up into tiny pieces to get you some money back to you if I make it back alive? Where my share? Where my share? Ain't no way in hell. And a lot of women will tell you that they walk the street now. They don't want no pimp. Because like they said, why am I going to stand out here on the street to then turn my money over to you? Think about that. This is the oldest hustle known to man, prostitution. The oldest hustle. And how in the world any woman could wake up in her right mind and say, I'm going to go out here and prostitute and give my money to a man. Well, see, that's what I'm trying to say is, how in your right mind would you allow somebody to make you go to the street? Because in all, no one can make you go to the street. You go out there, 9 times out of 10, he is not standing right there watching you. He's somewhere back in another room, hotel room, house, waiting on you to come back with the money. So see, when you got that type of variance, you don't have to go out there and stand out there. Now, a lot of young women end up prostituting because they've got themselves in a bad situation where maybe they went to stay somewhere or they ran away. They didn't have anybody. They went to the street because of family situations, or they just wanted to be grown and not mind their parents or whatever. And then they meet old Joe Blow, and he talks sweet and speak. Hey, how you doing? And he act like he like her. And he tell her, I'll take care of you. I'll get you some clothes and a warm place to stay. But see, that's the hustle right there. That's the bamboozle. I'm going to help take care of you, give you somewhere warm. And then he going to slyly say, at some point, day 1, day 3, now I need you to make daddy some money because I did take you in. I have been feeding you. I have been clothing you. You didn't have nowhere to go. You said your mama did this, your daddy did this. So here we go. You're going to give me mine. as payback for taking care of your tail. Okay. Okay. And so she realized, well, if she chooses to, I'm going to go on and work for him because I don't have nowhere to stay. I don't know nobody in this city or this town. I ain't got nothing but a bag full of clothes. So, yeah, I'm going to go on and do it. Ain't nobody collecting the money that I work for. And that's the whole point of why I said this is the oldest hustle known to man. But it made no sense that a person, a woman, could easily be coerced into prostituting for a man and give her money to a man. That's the part that never made any sense with prostitution. Back in the day, I'm sure when it started, it was a woman working for herself. She sold her body, she pocketed her money. But as time went on in the 20th century, somebody decided to say, I'm going to use a cutie. I'm going to use a cutie. Because, back in the day, you didn't have no men pimping no women back in the early part of the century. You know what I'm saying? Early 1900s. The women made their own money, or they was in, houses, probably with a madam or a brothel or something like that, and the lady collected the money. The lady stayed in the house, roomed in the house, and then they made their little money and paid probably the madam a little fee or whatever, or the whoever the owner of the house was. Well, you're right, and that's why a lot of women have ended up in the prostitution game. It's because of dysfunction from their homes. They were runaways. As I state, some were probably wayward children. You had the cases too where some of the girls just didn't want to mind. They ran away from home, got hooked up with the wrong crowd. There's just different reasons that people end up in the street. Well, you're right. But see, that's the whole point, is that the pimp can't save you. Because the pimp is not getting ready to get in the car with you while you go turn a trick. He is somewhere sitting on the sidelines, back in a hotel, back in a house, waiting for you to bring the money. So you see, really, prostitution, dealing with a pimp, is about loyalty. It's about loyalty. Because if the pimp is not right there watching you, he's not getting in the car with the John, at this point, you can go hightail it out of there and get on somewhere. As soon as your feet touch soil and you out of peripheral of the pimp, madam, whatever you want to call it, then you can say, you know what, I don't have to put up with this. Let me get on somewhere. Let me go find some help. Let me go find a shelter. Let me go find a church. Let me get on. Well, and that's the point. You're right. A pimp is dysfunctional. 9 times out of 10, he comes from dysfunction too. Because what type of man, like I said, will wake up out his slumber and say, today's the day I'm going to go find some women or woman and tell her to go out here and sell her body and bring me back the money. Yeah, you broke. You broke in spirit. Because that's not even something that a person should even think about, is using another human to go make money for them. Well, this is a new day. The way pimps ran back in the day of the 70s and 80s, those days are gone. You don't got them kind of pimps walking around with the shiny shoes and the flashy colored suits and big hats and the old-timey Cadillacs with the wheel on the back. I remember that car when I was a little girl in Chicago. I saw that wheel on the back of that, I believe it was a Cadillac. And the first thing I thought was, woo, that's a pretty car. Pretty car. Ain't no telling who was behind the wheel of that car. But you get what I'm saying. Back in those days when I was growing up in the city, that's when prostitution was naturally heavy. And the girls worked the street and took their money back to a man. But today, you now just got dusty little Negroes walking around in some little tired ass Jordans, want to be on something, on clout, trying to boost their ego and getting online, trying to find us some cuties that they can manipulate and say, come on, girl, let's get this money. Let's go advertising. You bring me the money and I watch out. Ooh, however it go, baby, bye. You got some young girls that's on that grind. And I'm not trying to get gritty with you, but since the subject matter is about this, you got some females that know better. They're not about to give their money up to nobody. They know how to solicit themselves. They know how to go on a site where it's all about sugar babies and all that and get their money. Because think about it. You don't need somebody to help you get money. And that's just common sense. Because see, that's the art of the hustle. The art of the hustle is to get you to go alone. And I don't know if you're going to go alone until I try you. You see. And when I realize you say yes, hey, Terry, then the hustle begins. So you see, as I state, there are young women on the grind right now. They get their money, prostitute, get money, gifts, however you want to look at it. And they do not need no co-conspirator. They don't need no bodyguard. They don't need none of that. They do not need no pimp. And you have women now, I'm sure, are selling their bodies for money, gifts, however you want to look at it. And ain't no pimp involved. They don't need no pimp. Yeah, it's a different day today. Young ladies don't need nobody to walk up and tell them nothing about, oh, you cute, you pretty, you want to work for me. No, baby. I get my own money. Tax-free, it's all mine. As I see the young ladies love to say on social media, Cash App a queen. Cash App a queen. Even on the date site, them dudes be going all 100 times. That's all they want to do. Ask me for send some money through the Cash App. And I be saying, I ain't saying prostitution is right, but guess what? You want Miss Kitty? I'm saying it. Yeah, I'm saying it. You want Miss Kitty? You want a free ride with a female. You're not interested in trying to get to know her. You just want to have sex with her. But you offended if a lady says, hello, honey. You offended if a lady says, hey, I need some money. Hey, can you put some money on my Cash App card? Hey, can I meet you over here on 15th Street and you give me a couple dollars? So, see, this is where the game is twisted, see. So it's okay for you to willingly go out here knowing you just want to have sex with a woman. And then ghost her, leave her standing on the curb, don't call, don't talk to her, none of that. But then when you think that a woman is out to get you for your coins, then it's, oh, she ain't nothing but a hoe. She ain't nothing but a hoe. Out. But ain't that what you doing? Ain't that what you doing? Is that the classification you should give yourself? You see, that's where people get it twisted. That's where men get it twisted. It's okay for you to go out here and pick up everything with a skirt or a ding dong. Yeah, I said it. You all in folks' inboxes, DMs, Instagram chat, all up in there wanting to holler at somebody. Holla, holla, holla. You right, gold digger. She ain't nothing about money. She ain't nothing but a trick. She ain't nothing but this. All them ugly names. She can't ask you for nothing. She can't walk up to you and ask you for nothing from the get-go. Because as my homeboy would say, I don't give up no money. I don't buy nothing when I first meet no chick. No, you don't buy nothing because you ain't trying to give up nothing. Because you can't stand to lose. But see, what some of you all don't understand, and I told my homeboy this, the one I call my brother, Book. I said, what you don't understand is you have men who don't mind buying a Gucci bag off the top. Don't mind buying a Birkin bag, stilettos, Jimmy Choos. Y'all see where I'm going? Don't mind paying a car note first month. Because he can stand to lose it. And he might be in it just for the kitty cat. He might be in it because, hey, he actually like her. So he feel like, I got the paper, I got the money, I can buy whatever she wants. Then you got some men who will buy it and they don't want sex from you. But when people see or think, oh, she got that money, oh, she only with him for the money, you don't know what arrangement they got. He may actually like her and he likes spending money on she. And you do have some men who got that money and they do not mind taking you to dinner, taking you out. You say you need to buy a school book for your course. You need to pay your car note. Your light bill is due. Your rent is due. And he just say, how much is it? But see, you don't have a lot of men like that that's willing to give up the money first. Right. Romance without finance. And I tell my brother that. You just the type of cat, you're not trying to give up no money on nothing. Well, and that's what my daddy told me. It's that all that fast talk about prostitution. He said these jokers, God rest my daddy's soul. He said you paying for the kitty no matter what, whether you like or not, you related, marriage, whatever. When you get involved with a female, if something is to happen to her, she needs something paid for, you paying the due bill. He said, so how you not paying for the kitty cat? How are you not paying? You lay with her. You play house with her. You're married to her. You got to pay the mortgage. You got to eat. So how you not paying for it? You just don't like the terminology that you being pimped out yourself. But like you said, in the end, a man pays for the kitty. And excuse my language, but you know what I'm saying. Because I get tired of hearing it myself. I don't want to buy nothing. I ain't giving up nothing. I ain't buying her nothing. I just met her. I don't know her. I ain't buying no shoes. I ain't paying nobody light bill. But you don't mind sleeping with her off the top and thinking it's okay for her to give up her body, her crown jewels. Like a pastor once said, once you give up your jewels, that's it. You can't get it back. And your jewels is more valuable than any stone, any money, any materialistic item. You slumbering with a man that you don't know well, and you doing all type of little greedy, grimy stuff behind closed doors and in between the sheets with him, and he can't revere you as decent. He don't want to help you pay for nothing. He can't even go buy you Sudafed if you get a cold. Yeah, the queen bringing it to you real at 100 today. That's grimy as hell. But you good enough to have sex with. You good enough to do all type of nasty things behind closed doors. But when you need something, oh, you not that chick. Oh, I ain't got it. I ain't got no money. Oh, I don't know you like that. Oh, you know it's just a hookup. Oh, you know it's just friends with benefits. Well, I'm not your friend. I'm not your friend. I'm not your benefit. If I want to lay with you, okay, that's my choice. If a woman wants to lay with a man, that's her choice. That's her business. But if she come to you and ask you for a favor, and I ain't saying, buying a 6,000 square foot house 2 days later, but you understand what I'm saying? If she called you and said she needed something, a tire blew or whatever, what's wrong with the fact of you saying I can help you get a tire for your car or whatever? My thing is this, what have you lost? If you like her. If you like her. That's why I said every man is different. Some men do not mind helping a lady that they just met. Pay her bills or give her money or monetary money, whichsoever, monetary gifts, because he can stand to lose it. But you got them other cheap jokers out there, they can't give up nothing. Because one, they cheat. They are users. They are bottom feeders. They are A1 bums. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you want to know if you're dealing with a cheap Negro, white man, Jew, Arab, Indian, Mexican, just ask him, take you out to eat. If a man is not even willing to take you out to dine, listen at me good. If he doesn't even want to go out to eat, he's telling you a lot right there. Start making all kind of excuses. He ain't got no money. He ain't got paid. You should know that's not really somebody you want to talk to. Now, you just want to go ahead and have a little fling with him just to get you, get your rocks off. That's your business. But know that in the beginning, he wasn't the type to come to the table and say, Miss Lady, where you want to go? You want to go to the picture show? You want to go out to eat? You want to go? Where you want to go? Because a man who meets you, greets you, and not even really want to take you out, and let's say before COVID, because see, now they can use COVID as an excuse. Oh, I don't want to sit in a restaurant. Ooh, I don't want to get sick. Oh, yeah, I don't want nobody coughing over my food. Yeah, right. But you sure don't mind laying up in somebody's house visiting with a stranger and you don't know what germs she got in her house. Yeah, I said it. You don't mind pulling down your clothes in a strange woman's house and crawling in her bed, and you ain't gave up nothing. But you worried about COVID. Ting. This is the sick, sad world we live in. Well, you're right. They want the honey, want the cookies, want the milk, want all of that, but will not do anything for you. I meet men all the time that's all they talk about is screwing a woman, getting sex, wanting to know what kind of sex she can give, their preferences, and that lets you know right there that's where your spirit lies. You're not really trying to get to know a lady. You just want to know what she can do for you once you are behind closed doors. Chivalrous. Well, that word has been gone, baby. Chivalry been dead. I'm not saying there aren't any men out here that open car doors. Don't expect anything on the first date, first meeting. But guess what? The average man in this day and time, it don't matter as I tell you. He's young, he's old, he's middle-aged, he's educated, he's non-educated. Most of them just want the kitty cat, and that's that. They don't want to take you out. They do not want to wine and dine you. They do not want to buy you gifts. They do not want to hear you cry and moan. They do not want to hear your financial troubles. They do not want to hear your family troubles. They do not want to hear your damn problems. All they want to do is talk about themselves. Well, Melissa, well, the STDs are here. But as we were saying with this storyline, it's Antoinette Smith. For those who just joined the chat and not know what we're talking about, she is denying abandoning her child at a South Haven, Mississippi Goodwill. So we have to wait to see what is the truth about Antoinette and this child, if it is true or not. Was she hoodwinked by some stranger that she met and went to Nashville and got bamboozled? Say what? Humbly melanated. After being treated as what's considered good to you, I don't see how you go backwards after having that. That's why I'm okay with being single. Well, that's what I'm saying. But women put up with a lot of things, and men do too. Because I don't want to make it seem like we're bashing men in this chat, this live. All people can get used and manipulated. But see, that's why you have to read the signs in a person's conversation. You have to listen to the conversation. I tell people all the time, and Maya Angelou once said it, when they show you who they are, run. Run. You're right. We have to know our worth. Now, people are going to hook up with people. That's just natural because we're human beings. People are going to have sexual relations with people they don't know. They just met, dated shortly, and to each his own. But my thing is this. There is a way of treating people. That's all I'm saying. I don't care who you are. There's a way of treating people. And as you see in this situation, we don't know what is what with this Miss Smith, how things jumped off with this guy. We have no idea. All we have is the version is that she went with a stranger, or she went with a male, let's say, and she went and got herself left in Nashville, Tennessee, and her baby. The child is with somebody, I guess the state, Melissa, I have no idea. The first article didn't state what the child was. It just says the child was safe. So I don't know if the state of Mississippi has a child or if the state of Tennessee has a child. I have no idea. We don't even have a location of where the mother resides. So we don't know anything. We just know the mother gave a version that she didn't drop off her child. And so that's the 411, 211 on this story. But it's sad. Oh, Nitra says Child Protective Services has the baby. Okay. Nitra, you must stay in these articles. Lord have mercy. But it's a sad case because, hey, as I state, you do not know what to believe. Left with a note, right. Well, we don't really know what was on the note, who left the child where. See, that's where all the questions come in. It's who left the child where, who are the people the child was left with, what are their relations to the guy who was with the girl, how long did the girl know the guy, what were they going to do in Nashville. See, you don't know anything. You have no earthly idea. And we could be wrong, some of us, that's judging the girl. She could just be a feeble-minded human being that hooked up with some guy. He said, hey, let's ride out. They rode out, and then he bamboozled her and dropped the bomb and said, nah, get out there and get on the street and make my money. He could have pretended to be a great guy, smiley face, and then once they got to their location, he said, okay, hop out. Work it. Who's to say? She foolishly left her child with a stranger. Double whammy. We don't know. But time will tell what's going on with Miss Antoinette Smith. Well, you're right, because that is what goes on in the street today, is you keep seeing and hearing women found discarded like trash in the street, children discarded, children missing. So you see, this story could have went a multitude of ways. We could be talking about a severely injured child. We could be talking about a dead child. We could be talking about a missing child. We could also be talking about a missing mother. And we also could be talking about a dead mama. This story could have gone a multitude of ways. A multitude of ways. And that's the spoken word. Is that she could have ended up badly injured. Child could have ended up badly injured. We'll just have to wait on the investigation to see. Hello, Melissa Owens. Wow, I ain't seen that name in a while. How you doing, Queen? Thanks for joining us. You don't know what to think about nothing today. Because, you know, we do have people who are grand manipulators, grand liars, and they will spin a web and have people feeling sorry for them. I saw somebody make a comment on there. Some dude talking about welfare. I had to school that punk and let him know, wait a minute, boo-boo. They're not giving out no welfare checks anymore. See, speak on what you know in this state. You're not getting no welfare check. $142 or whatever it costs for one child. You have to take courses and or go to school, blah, blah, blah. You understand what I'm saying? So there you have it. You're not just laying up getting welfare in this state. You have to go to take a course offered by the state, sign up for school, work, or some type of college course. That's the spoken word. So you get on these sites, start talking about welfare checks and all that. Like I told you, what does a welfare check have to do with this baby being abandoned? Welfare don't have a damn thing to do with this baby. You don't even know what you're talking about. And then a lady commented underneath, you know, giving her testimony about her life and having to take care of her child alone. But see, that's the whole thing. People think they know everything. People think they know everything. You see a story about an African-American person, and now you all of a sudden want to start jumping on talking about welfare and this and that. Come on now. Come on now. That's low. It's low. It's low down to say anything about welfare, food stamps, when we're talking about a child who was abandoned. Welfare don't have a damn thing to do with abandoning a baby. Frankly, we already know $142 ain't no money to take care of no damn kid. And it wasn't enough back in the 90s to take care of a baby when you have to pay rent, light bills, feed your child, take your baby to the doctor, take yourself to the doctor. So I ask you again, what you think $142 is going to do with a kid? For those that think they know everything about the system. Well, we know all kind of people get assistance. That's what kills me about people. Trying to act like they're better than everybody because they were fortunate enough not to ever have to get welfare or food stamps or, you know, as we call it in this state, tin care. Well, be glad, be grateful. You had a great job with benefits. You had a great job that gave you medical benefits. Be grateful. Be glad you didn't have to go to Uncle Sam and ask him for food stamps. Be very grateful because you got some people who had a decent life and they had to ask for public assistance. They had to go find housing through HUD agency. They had to get a welfare check and or food stamps and or medical care through the state. You see, you don't never know what shape you're going to be in. You don't never know what shape you're going to be in. And I get tired of comments exacted toward black people every time a black person is being investigated for a crime or been accused of a crime. Leave welfare out of it. What you talking about, Moonstone? Y'all just coming in this chat. I don't know who that other person is. Dang, girl. Dang what? Yeah, I don't want the Queen Crunk today. Look, I'm trying to stay mellow. Well, my thing is, this is what's wrong with this country right now. People are so, I'm going to say it, so racist. I always got something nasty to say. I always got something nasty to say. Anytime somebody black gets arrested, investigated, it's always something nasty said. And I don't understand. Why do you have to say something nasty pertaining to welfare and crime and violence? Every time something happens to a black person, it's always got something to do with welfare. It's always got something to do with violence and them kind. And y'all the most violent races and this and that. I don't be want to hear all that kind of crazy talk. Well, you're right, Melissa. Everybody's got a lot of help. And let's just be truthful. Some people, whether they white or black, if your mom and daddy has carried you all their life, you have never had to work for anything. You have never had to hold down a job. How the hell are you going to talk about somebody getting welfare when your mom and daddy carried you all their life? You now an old person and you still living off your mom and daddy. You still going to your mom and daddy for money. You still getting money out their bank account, their savings, their pension, when your ass should be making it for yourself. I said it. When you decide you don't want to pay your bills, you don't want to be an adult, you keep running to your mom and your daddy, needing money, and your ass is 40, 30. You pimping your parents. You pimping the system too. So you should not sit up and talk about somebody drawing welfare when you know you've never carried your weight. When you use your own damn parents. Always in their pocketbook. Wanting their money. Because it's not your money. It's their money. And because you refuse to be an adult, or you think they owe you, you steady begging with your mom and daddy. And I see it all the time. People my age still never worked, never kept a job, never kept a home, never kept a house. Mom and daddy bought the cars, mom and daddy bought the houses, and they still living off their parents, even after all that stuff their parents have bought for them. You know, that's trifling. Right. If the government want to give you any type of help, you should take it. Believe that. And I don't care if you work, don't work, you draw Social Security, whatever you're getting, don't get. Whatever the government wants to offer you, you should take it, because there will come a time when you will need some help and then you can't get no help, honey. You see, that's why I think all this has happened to us in this country with the COVID and around the world, is to show us that we are honoring and we are cocky and we think we know everything and we think we are invincible as people and we think our shit don't stink and we think nothing bad can ever happen to us. But COVID said, I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to show you that your job ain't your job. Your house ain't your house. Your car ain't your car. What you thought you had and knew is non-existent. I'm going to show you real pain. You folks better wake up out there. COVID came home and showed us I could take it away at a moment's notice. That cushy life you had, that big pretty house you had, them pretty cars in the driveway you had. I'm getting ready to make it to where you get ready to scuff and huff to keep them cars, baby. You gonna scuff and huff to keep your 4,000, 6,000 square feet. Them credit cards you maxed out and you stacking high. Okay, Moonstone. Oh, Lord Jesus. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. We always got to have somebody that's got to be rude and obnoxious and all that. I don't have time for all that kind of crazy talk. Anyway. Since Moonstone thinks the government help is for suckers, well, a lot of people are depending on the government right now for all types of things, such as their medical care and all of that, because they don't have the resources to pay full bills for their medical. I ain't trying to hear all that right now. You know, I don't argue with nobody, and you're not going to argue with me over here. Right. People need to be more humble. And even with all the things going on recently with the vote, the Electoral College sealed the vote. I meant to mention that too. Folks still want to talk crazy, act crazy, show out, fight. I put up an article. I didn't even open it up about some people getting stabbed or something. They were rallying for Trump, all that. See, ain't nobody got time for all that. See, that's what I keep trying to tell you. A lot of people, the mindset is messed up. The spirit is bad. The spirit is bad. Okay? Every day they own one. As Cat Williams once said, banging on bacon. You up early. I already got a nasty attitude. I already want to fight. I already want to fuss. And that's what people do right now. They go to social media. They jump on YouTubers' channels, such as this one, putting in their little nasty ass comments, jumping on social media, Facebook pages, scrolling people pages, jumping on people pages and timelines where they don't belong, going off, acting stupid, talking crazy, giving their political views, their religious views. Didn't nobody ask for you to come over there. Didn't nobody send for you. That's why you should stay in your lane. You got to know your place. Crying and moaning about what ain't right with the world, want to beat everybody up, want to fight everybody, want to carry a gun around on your hip because the law says you can, cuss and fuss everybody out, worrying about who's right wing, who's left wing, all of those crazy stuff. But in the end, guess what? You are the flesh. You came from a woman. Are you going to go back to dust? So all this, what you're doing, fighting and arguing with folks on social media and crying and moaning about what ain't right with the government, who's this, government conspiracies, all that. Baby, in the end, all that shit don't make no sense and don't matter. Because guess what? You got to live and try to eat and survive. And most of you have lost your way. You're not focusing on the real deal. You need to be focusing on trying to better yourself, keep a roof over your head, keep some food on your table in your refrigerator. Keep your car parked outside your domain. Keep your health up. Pay your medical bills however you can. See, you're not focusing on what is the real deal. You're focusing on all that old stupid ideology stuff. You know, my side is the best side. Really, a lot of you act like gang members. Huh? I said it. You worried about who's a Crip in the blood? You no different than the folks in the street. Oh, let me tell that to some of you, white and black. When you sit up here talking about acting like you're better than everybody and who shouldn't get government help and this, that, and the other, and I'm a Trump supporter and I believe this is the right way. You ain't nothing but a table gangster. You ain't nothing you right but a wannabe thug. You think it's okay to go run to the Capitol with your gun on your hip, want to tear the door down, but then you get mad because you saw somebody protesting and you thought they were looting or writing on the wall or, well, how you different? You go to social media, spewing venom, cursing out people, calling them nasty names, calling black folks monkeys, coons, calling Mexicans wetbacks. How you different? How are you different? Because I know a lot of you get crunk to where you will go out there and catch a charge, fighting for number 45, fighting for your rights, your ideologies, your concerns. Right, terrorists. But anybody that don't agree with you, and anybody don't agree with the current president, yes, you'll call them a terrorist. So see, that's why I say if people ain't got their minds right, you judging these other people out here in the street that you don't know anything about. You judging different races of people that you don't know anything about because you're looking at statistics of Chicago, LA. You think everybody with brown skin killing each other, raping each other. Well, I know the other side of the coin. Y'all rape, steal, murder, defraud, set houses on fire, collect insurance money for fraud, molest, steal, pillhead, meth head, meth distributor, heroin distributor, crack distributor, crack user. Yeah, Queen is real tonight. So don't come talking about the black man and black woman. We all thugs. We all like violence. I try my best not to have to get in an altercation with anybody. Because I'm not trying to go to jail. I could be in jail right now if I wanted to. If I was to want to get crunk. Britt, see, I love when they send me to Chicago to work. They treat me well up there. But see, that's what I'm trying to say. I could get crunk right now. I don't care for the people upstairs. So what I could do is go show out, act the fool, wait on them, do something to them, bang them upside their head. But then guess what? I'll be the one locked up. So I have to keep my temper at bay. I have to keep my words at bay. And if it ain't them, it's somebody else. Yeah, I'm going to give you the real talk. Because people are getting beside themselves with all this rhetoric, this white and black stuff. You know, we're veering off the subject from this subject matter. But it's daunting to me. It's sickening, and that's why the world is in the shape it's in. You're not going to like everybody. And I keep telling people that. You crazy to argue with a stranger about racism, political affiliations. It's a waste of your time. Ignore it. Let them fools argue with themselves. I'm not going to argue with you about you being a Republican and you think this and you think that, and you think it's okay to walk around with a gun on your hip. You think it's okay to go in a schoolhouse with a gun. You think it's okay to walk in a bar with a gun, knowing you ain't mentally stable. Oh, the state gave you a right to carry a gun, gave you a license, but it don't mean you're mentally stable to carry it. But then you want to talk about a thug in the street. A little black boy carrying a gun on his hip. He ain't got no license. He ain't got no business with that gun. But you ain't mentally stable. Who the hell said you should have a gun? I'll wait. I'll wait. What test you took to say you should have a gun? Who said you should have a gun? Oh, the state cleared me. I ain't got no background. I ain't got no felonies. The state said I can carry this gun. But you know you ain't right. You know your spirit ain't right. You know you the type to pop off. You know you got a nasty attitude. You got a nasty disposition. You know you're racist. But you got that gun. But you think you all right. You should carry it. Because somebody said it was all right for you to carry it. But then you go out here and talk bad about this race, shooting people, killing people. As soon as shit don't go your way, you the first one to grab that gun and shoot somebody and say, it was self-defense. That's right. That's right. Your soul. And that's what's wrong with people. You're too busy focusing on stuff that's irrelevant. And you're not sticking to what is factual. You don't know people. You don't know a person's mindset. Well, that's why I don't worry about what these people think nature. I'm trying to do the queen. I'm trying to do the queen. I'm not trying to be worried about nothing nobody doing or saying. I have decided that you are not for the benefit of Big Ange. I don't want to have nothing to do with you. I'm not getting ready to argue with you. I'm not getting ready to barter with you. Because most people tell you about the queen. Arguing It's what she is not going to do with you. I'm not going to argue with you about nothing. Period. You try to hold me accountable to have a stroke. Excuse me. I'm going to have a stroke arguing with a fool. We'll just say, well, I don't agree with what you said. You don't agree with what I said. Okay, fine. But we ain't got to kill each other. That's that. And you're right, humbly. You don't get the time back. So that's what you have to tell yourself about life. When you get all upset and riled up with folks, things aren't going your way, you don't seem favored, you just have to take a step back and reassess. Now, some of us can get pop off. Some of us got bad tempers, bad attitudes. All I can do is pray for you that you will see the light one day. But I'm not arguing with you about nothing. I could argue all day if I just wanted to sit up and argue with folks. I've learned now, I said myself today, I've learned that living in apartment complex living, that complaining about stuff is a waste of time, because it's going to be a matter of who they're going to believe. And if a person don't believe you, then you become public enemy number one. So what have you gained? You may think you're right, but in the end, it don't matter, because somebody else is weighing the balance. And it's going to be on them to say, you wrong or you right. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I tell all of you, get your hustle on, especially you young people. Honey, please, buy a house. Stop giving these folks your money for apartments, rental property. Buy you somewhere to live. Buy you somewhere to live. Because you do not know what shape you're going to be in, what kind of problems you're going to have living in an apartment. You could be a law-abiding citizen. You could be get along with folks. You could have a good rapport with your management. And then one day, let me tell you, the rascals will turn on you as quick as day. You hear what I'm saying? Buy you somewhere to sleep. Buy you somewhere to sleep, baby. Well, we've talked about so many things. Thank you, Britt. Thank you. So many things. I'm trying to figure out how many. Yes, they will flip the script. I've learned that now. I'm learning that now as I speak to you. So understand. Truth ain't really truth. It's perception. And I keep telling you all that. That what you see maybe ain't what you're seeing. What you're hearing may not be what you're hearing. Everything is about perception. Because what I see and hear, you don't see and hear. And that's the way the world goes. Tell me how many of you in the chat believe that this girl is lying about this baby situation in South Haven, Mississippi. Everybody in the chat, bring it up. Is she lying or telling the truth? What's going on? Well, we do have, with the COVID situation, there's going to be a lot of evictions. Is Antoinette telling the truth about what happened to her baby? I want everybody to give me their answer. Lita says she needs more information. Britt says it's all over the headlines. Okay, so I'm going to have to get on after I get off of here and Google some more articles on the said situation. Because that's one thing I always tell you about a story, that you can go get one article, but then you Google, you'll see other articles where people have given their 411, 211, and it can differ from another article. Nietzsche, what you say, baby? I don't think she is lying, but she's leaving out some details. Okay. So Nietzsche thinks that she did leave the baby with somebody, and she went with this guy. She just went with him. So see, that's what's crazy about the story is, what did he tell her where they were going? You understand what I'm saying? What did he say to her? We're getting ready to go hiking, fishing. We're getting ready to go what? We're getting ready to go to Nashville to go get some barbecue. Where are we going? See, that's what's interesting about this story is we do not know why she got in his company and why they went to Nashville. How long was she going to be gone to Nashville? So we don't know any of that. We just know she went to Nashville. He propositioned her. She got mad. He got mad, and he left her there. Okay, so Nashville is 3 hours. Okay, so you see, I'm on the other side. I'm in between. I mean, Nashville is in between Memphis and myself. I'm east. Nashville is west. Memphis is at the bottom. I'm 3 hours or so, a little less, maybe 3 hours from Nashville, in the area where I am. It's a very intriguing story. I've got 25 in the chat, 32 thumbs up. Thank you so kindly. Thank you so kindly. And feel free to super chat a queen if you like. I surely won't mind. Thank you, guys. Do you think she knows them? Because for them to dump the baby, she had to know them and they set her up. I don't know, Lita. I don't know what to think. You know, I try not to listen to all the negative comments so it will sway my opinion or my mind, my thought process. Because, you know, you want to give people the benefit of the doubt, even when it looks jacked up. But I think the fact that she left the child with the woman and didn't know her, that led people to think that she's lying about everything else. Because what people are saying to themselves, if you don't know this woman, you just left your kid with her, hell, you probably didn't know the guy either. So who's the hell gonna believe anything you say about what the hell happened in Nashville? Why would I believe you when you shouldn't have left your child with a stranger? So then one could say he had to be a stranger because if you knew of him well, you would have known that the woman you left your baby with, oh, we didn't think about that. You would have known that was not his auntie. And when you look at the girl carrying the baby, she looks like a younger lady. Just from the overview, from the surveillance camera, could be wrong, but the girl walking with the child in the parking lot looks like a young black woman. So how the hell this young black woman your auntie? Y'all see where I'm going? Now, I don't know how old Antoinette is. I don't know how old the guy is. But see, I always tell you, always think about what is said in the information. Always think about what is said. You left your baby with a stranger. So that means you didn't know him well enough to know that the girl who's keeping your baby is not his auntie. That sounds right. She's already off the chart. Y'all, I can't fool with y'all. Wait a minute. Okay, that's Brig. I will never leave my child with someone I don't know. Stupid ass for I'm concerned and she's still responsible. Yana, you right. How you doing, baby? Good to see you. Okay, humbly, I'm glad you said that because I mentioned that in the chat yesterday. Nobody wants to consider how the baby felt. Everybody keeps talking about they didn't hurt the baby. They didn't hurt the baby. Well, we don't even know what the baby been through. We don't know where the baby lived. We don't know the relationship with him and the mother. We don't know if he was mistreated in any form or fashion. You know damn well he probably was scared. Take the child to some random woman. That's why I said, think about what she said. If I had known that wasn't his auntie, I would have never left the child. So that leads me to believe she did not know the guy. Y'all, that's why I reread the article before I wrote everything down to jump on tonight. You have to look at everything that's said in the article. If I had known that wasn't his auntie, I would have never left the baby. Well, that means you didn't know him. Come on with it. Because if you knew him, you'd have known that was his auntie. And felt somewhat comfortable to say, well, I'm going to leave my baby with him because I know Pookie. Hey, come on with it. But you didn't know Pookie. Ting. That's why you didn't know who that woman was. Ting. And if y'all all near the same age, ting, then you had to know what you was getting ready to go do. If all y'all look like y'all the same age. Ting. I don't hear you. That's why I was curious about if she tried to talk her out of leaving so quickly. Leaving who so quickly? Well, Ayana, that's the whole point of the story, baby. We don't know anything. All we got is a version from Antoinette that she got to Nashville with this guy, and he wanted her to prostitute. She said no. He left her there. He then went back, I'm assuming, to South Haven, Mississippi, wherever the hell they live, and dropped his baby off at the Goodwill. That's why I said I don't know what's what, because I don't even know if the guy who took her to Nashville is the same guy that's in the red SUV to drop the baby off. But I do know one of them fools is in jail for ramming the deputy's car. And like I told you all, you a dodo bird to be ramming a car down in Mississippi, crooked letter I, where they still hang black people. Shut your mouth. Right. Wouldn't that be the same thing, though? Yeah, Mississippi don't play. That's my point, is that this is why I always tell you all, when you hear a story, repeat the story back to yourself. You see, that's why I wrote all these questions down before I jumped on. I wanted to give you every available scenario that could have transpired pertaining to this child and the relationship between she and the guy. Right now, we don't know anything, but you have to think about the stuff that she has said pertaining to her own child. I wouldn't have done that. He's all I got. Well, people are questioning. He can't be all you got because you didn't care enough to not leave it with somebody that you knew. I'm going to listen to the interview too. Where I go find it? Nature. On Miss Beer's Facebook page. And who the hell is Miss Burris? We got to find out who she is too. Not to be disrespectful, but just curious. Okay, I'll go to her page. Lord, I ain't getting no kind of rest. I've been trying to listen to my music. I told you I got a crush. Y'all know I got a crush on a little young fella right now. Nature said, I know a Barbara. Well, is she upstanding? What she got going on, Nature? Is she upstanding? Is she, as y'all say in the street, is she all right? Is she all right? I guess protective services, Yana. They just said the child was safe. Nietzsche said he in protective services. I don't know. But you got to admit it's something funky. Because I'm telling you, I'm repeating it back in my head. She didn't know, dude. Okay. Yo, boy, I like how you say his name, Queen. Oh, my little new crush. My little new crush is that little cute little rapper, honey. Oh, he's honey. That hair is so pretty to me. The mare. Fujiano, for all of you who still listen to rap music, that's my new crush. I got hooked on that little fella. Oh, Jesus. Oh, help me, Jesus. Well, I don't know if the interview gonna come back and bite her, but the fact is that when you said, if I had known that wasn't his auntie, I wouldn't have left the child, you have now alluded to the fact you don't know the guy well. So you now have hooked up with a stranger, left your child with another stranger that allegedly is affiliated with he, and you get up to Nashville, don't want to prostitute, he leaves you there, goes back, allegedly, if it's the same guy, and take the child, two other participants, to a Goodwill drop-off center, leave your baby. You got to admit, that's some real grimy Shia, you know what. You leave a child knowing that child has a mother. Let's just say all this is true. Then you are really foul, sir, to have gone and left that girl up there, and then you knew where her child is, and then you left her baby and took her baby to a damn Goodwill. Well, humbly, like I said, I don't know what is the truth. But like I said, if all this is actually true, what she said, that dude is rank to one, leave her in Nashville, then go back and take her child and drop her child off like it's a bag of dirty clothes to the damn Goodwill drop-off center. Come again? That's a whole child you left. Barbara Burris, little dreadhead activist is the page. Okay, Barbara Burris. Write that down. I'm always writing something down. I should have went to law school, but I don't like trying to remember information. I can tell you the truth. Because some people say, you should have majored in social work. You've been a good social worker. No, I wouldn't. Because I've been broke. No, broker than I am now. So I've been broke. Because you know they don't pay social workers and school teachers no money. Want you to stand there and work and deal with people's personal problems all day and navigate people's problems, but then you don't want to pay them no decent salary. But that's the world we live in. This is a baffling case, you guys. I mean, this is some weird stuff going on at the bottom. At the bottom, crooked letter I. All you that's familiar with Mississippi. Yeah, overworked, underpaid. And then Mississippi has the worst cases of HIV. For those of you who don't know that, let me spin that with you. Because I watched a documentary about that a while ago, a year or two ago. They have the worst cases of HIV. They have no medical care for the poorest people. Poor people in Mississippi. Mississippi has a lot of poor people, a lot of poor Black folks live in Mississippi. They don't have adequate health care. They don't have clinics. They don't have doctors who render proper aid. They have a lot of HIV in the rural counties in Mississippi. For those of you who do not know this, for those of you who don't know, the Dirty South has the highest case of HIV amongst African-American people. Nietzsche said, I live here. Well, Nietzsche, some people don't know about the South like that. A lot of people don't know that HIV has higher statistics here in the South, in the bottom states. Okay, humbly, yes. A lot of people who don't know, Mississippi is grimy as hell. They do not treat their people right. Said her child was kidnapped against her will. Okay, Lita said she found something on ABC. Okay. Well, Britt, this is what I'm trying to tell you. If you don't read a lot, if you don't stay in tune to what goes on in America, you won't have no idea what goes on in these states. And I'm telling you, Mississippi they are not treating their people right. And when you think back to the days of slavery and how wealthy I'm sure that Mississippi probably was long time ago, 100-something years ago, when let's call a spade a spade. This country was built off the backs of African Americans being slaves, built these big homes and their crops up for these people. Now Mississippi ain't doing nothing to their people of the state. Those people are suffering gravely down there. That's why I told somebody I wouldn't take a dog down there. Remember my uncle years ago told me, well, I got some property down there. You're welcome to have it. And you can have the property. I thought, what am I going to do with some property in Mississippi? I said, I'm not going to Mississippi to live. I don't care about no property. Honey, I told him, honey, sell your property and get your money. And you can give me a cut of your money if you like. You want to share your money? You want to share the money with me? That's cool. Yeah. But I told him there's nothing going on in Mississippi. I said, I don't know what would make you think I would want to take some land and live off some land in Mississippi. You have to have money to buy a house or a business to start something on the land. I was not interested. Okay, Nietzsche says they will let older people just die with no health care. Mississippi probably will be the last to get vaccines. Ayana, I believe that too. Because my thing is, if you don't have adequate health centers and clinics down there for the people just to go to the doctor, I learned that, probably 2 years ago watching YouTube. So you know those folks probably falling over dead from COVID down there. Oh, Nietzsche said they already got the vaccine. Well, that's good. That should have been one of the first places they took it, since they got so many rural counties down there where people are living and don't have adequate health care. You know, they probably ain't got adequate health care. They don't have adequate housing. I saw how some of them Black folks was living in them houses down there. Oh, my God. Baptist DeSoto Hospital. Okay. So I saw how the Black folks was living down there. Poor. Ooh, I mean, bottom poor, baby. That the kind of poor that you don't want. Shacks. That's right. That's what they reminded me of. Old slave shacks, barely standing up. And I couldn't believe when they went to the one house of a young girl they was interviewing. And I saw how she was living. I said, Lord, I can't not believe this modern day, this girl living like this. Well, I had an aunt that ended up dying down there, and it was sad. She wanted to go back down there because her son was buried down there, her only son. So naturally, it was just family ties. She wanted to be there. But in the end, she suffered too, they said. She was down there miserable, living down there, not getting the best care, not really having no relatives close by her that could check on her and, make sure she was getting, the proper care that she needed. But that's what happens. People, they grow and they make a decision. They want to go live somewhere. What can you do? And then they get down there where they at, wherever it is, and they realize, ooh, I made a mistake. This really is not conducive to my health and my livelihood and my betterment. And it happens to many people. That's my fear of going somewhere and be miserable as hell. I'll be like, oh, I could have stayed in Tennessee. Yeah, well, I'm not trying to go live on no plantation. I'm not trying to live in no shacks. I'm not trying to live under no mouse trees. I don't want to smell magnolias from the tree and living in no shack. Did y'all hear that? I'm sorry. Now I watched the HGTV, that white couple that's got they rehab houses down there in Laurel, Mississippi. Now her and her husband do some nice remodels, but baby, that's a part of Mississippi that folks ain't seen on HGTV that ain't cute, ain't pretty. Well, a lot of southern states still got plantations. Okay, don't start talking about the embryo. Oh, Lord, don't start now. Appalachia, West Virginia. I can't. Y'all don't have them country folks come looking for me. Y'all start talking about West Virginia now. Coal mine country. Don't get it started. And they've been hoodwinking bamboozled about Mr. 45, thinking he was going to come through and offer better jobs with the coal mines and all those suffering towns in West Virginia. And I've heard some of them older white people say, well, he left us in the dust. He really wasn't for us, but he said he was. And them folks in West Virginia, just like so many other small towns in America, rural counties and towns are suffering because they don't have adequate companies to work for. They don't have adequate medical care. And it's sad. And these people put their faith in number 45 that he will come through as the great white hope and save them. But see, all he did was lie to them people to get their vote. And now them folks don't have no work in their towns. And they suffer. But this is what I always tell people. When you see there are no jobs in your town, there's no medical help in your town, there's no entertainment in your town, get your tail out of there. Go move to a smaller city where you can have running water, gas stations, Walmarts, somewhere to go, adequate schools, hospitals. Why the hell you want to live somewhere where you ain't got a hospital? You don't have ambulatory care. You can't get an ambulance to your house because you live so far out, the ambulance can't get to you. See, I'm telling you, you got to think about what's important to survival. And a lot of people don't like leaving and moving out of small towns because that's all they know. Yeah, he failed a lot of people. And he mainly failed those people that live in those rural towns, such as West Virginia, the state of West Virginia, people who thought he was going to bail them out and get them to a better living. And those places don't have adequate jobs or companies where they can go to work. Well, Britt, that's what I'm saying. Everything's about perception. You see, what I see, you don't see. And that's what's wrong with a lot of people. A lot of people look and they say, well, this is what I believe about a person. They're this, they're that. And they can't see the stuff that maybe an outsider can see that, hey, maybe this person ain't proper. Maybe this person don't have your best interest at heart, but you're not going to learn that. Oh, you in an area that's Democratic from here and up. Okay. So where are you, in the middle of Virginia, or are you going north or what? I got a free sweet friend in Virginia right now in Roanoke area, Miss Mary. I'm praying for her. She has not responded back to me through the messenger. Ooh, sorry about that. I'm trying to hold this cord so I don't lose uh my place. Oh, you in Roanoke? Shut up. I was saying we've been talking. Girl. You go check on my friend for me at the hospital, honey. I don't know which hospital she's in out there in Roanoke, whatever area she live in. I'm worried about her. Right. And see, that's what I'm trying to say is that PGA and they angry, still love them. But see, that's what I'm saying. You like who you want to like, you believe who you want. You know, I'm the type, I don't argue, I'm not going to argue politics with none of you. But one thing I will say is that there's people suffering. And there's people who put their faith in this man that he would do right by them. Carillion. Yeah, her name. I can't say her name live, or whole name on the live though, see if I don't want to stir up no trouble. But she has not responded through Messenger, so I don't know if it's just she's sedated or she's gotten worse. Or, but I'm really praying for her because she has COVID and heart failure. Well, see, that's the whole point of what America is all about. America is a vast country. You really don't have to leave America to see sights and sounds because this country has a lot of pretty, beautiful places to visit. But in between America is nothing but small towns. Thank you, Britt. I appreciate that. America is filled with small towns, rural towns. So everybody's not living in Chicago, New York City, Philadelphia, LA, Las Vegas, all the major cities you see. People live far and in between those big cities. And they are living in places that do not have adequate medical care. There are no jobs. There's nowhere to shop. There's no entertainment. There's nothing to do. Nothing. But most of them will not leave because that's all they know and that's what they're used to. That's their choice. But I personally, I'm not living in a town where there's nothing. I can't do it. I'm not gonna live nowhere where I can't maneuver. You know, everything's closing down at 8 o'clock at night. You can't go get your sandwich. You can't eat. That's why people don't like leaving Chicago because they love the fact that they can go eat late night, go get them some chicken and fish and chicken livers late night with fries and clog their arteries up. Get them a good pizza. You know, in Chicago, you can go get something to eat 3 in the morning. Well, you can't do that in other parts of the world, the United States. Everything's shut down. But see, that's a bigger city like New York. Nothing stops. Nobody sleeps. Businesses stay open round the clock. But in small rural places, businesses are closed. Restaurants are closed 10 o'clock at night, whatever. So see, you got to think about that when you live in small towns. What is the benefit going to be to stay there? What kind of life are you going to have? You may live there. It's cheaper to live, but what are you going to have by living there? Oh, okay, Baltimore. Baltimore, I hear, is a very progressive city for African-American people. A lot of wealthy Black people live in Maryland. I've been told that. Some of the wealthiest of African-Americans live in the state of Maryland. For those of you who did not know that. Oh, yes, Mr. Yana. Yes, she said Chicago's your hometown. Well, you know, that's where I grew up. The Shy Baby. I will always revere Chicago. That's just home to me. I will always revere Chicago, you know. Even though the past couple of years were rough because both my parents died there a year and a half apart. So, you know, Chicago kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But I now can go back to the city, I think, and, you know, enjoy myself and have a good time without feeling, you know, ho-hum or depressed going back to the city. And, you know, and what really depresses me is, you know, the crime rate, and hell, wanting to look over my shoulder. But naturally, when I was there last, when my father was sick, I didn't look over my shoulder. I went and got in the car and drove, went where I wanted to go. I shopped, I ate as if I was in Tennessee. I said, I'm not about to let these little dusty pilgrims keep me from living and enjoying myself. Why should I? And that's how those people in Chicago and other cities live. They don't live on edge. With all the strife going on in the Chi, people get up every day and go to school, walk their kids to school, go get on the CTA bus, train, go get in their car, drive to work, go get coffee on the lunch break, go get something to eat on their lunch break, go out to eat, go to the show, go to functions, go to the lounge. They still live as if nobody's out there, bang, bang, shoot them up. Because you can't. You can't live like that. You can't just keep looking over your shoulder because you won't be able to live. And it is a dangerous place at this point, and it's sad. But people just don't stop living. They don't stop living. Of course, we have an uptick of crime right now in the Knoxville area. A lot of people have been coming from the Detroit, trafficking heroin, and we've had some recent shootings in the area. Some people have died here in the area due to drug-related scenarios. I don't know exactly, but it's really sad. I don't know what's going on. But this is the world we live in. We are in desolate times. So that's why you got to pray for people. Pray for yourself, but you just don't know, how things are going to turn out. But I'm praying for all of you all. I'm not going to stay on here much longer because I'm at 1 hour and 51 minutes, and I said I wasn't going to do any more long lives because I want people new to the channel to be able to watch it, because 2 hours is a long time. 3 hours is a very long time to watch a live. Like I said, you don't even have movies on that long. I'm sitting up here doing TV series up here on this chat. But I want to thank you all for joining me. I want to thank you for your commentary. I want you all to follow the story with me. Leave your comments below through the night and morning. If you find out anything else, I am going to go over and, yes, Britt, love Chicago. I'm going to go over to Google and see what I can find, what other stories I can find pertaining to this story. Thank you, baby. Thank you, Lita. I'm going to go look and see what I can find out about this Antoinette Smith. I'm going to look her up on Facebook, see what I can find. Thank you, humbly melanated. I'm glad that you enjoy me and appreciate me because I appreciate you all a whole lot. Check the ABC article. Okay, let me write that down. ABC. Okay. I don't know what's going on with this case. This is a very odd and peculiar case. I don't know if this girl left this child on purpose. I don't know if she tried to get rid of her child. I don't know if this was an issue of her being pimped out. I don't know if she fell out with the dude when they got up there where they went. Ayana, thank you so much. Love hanging with you too. I don't know what happened, but I know a child is now without a parent. We'll have to wait to see if the state or whomever will give her child back to her. Thank you so much. Thank you, Britt. I do not know what is going on with this child. If this child will be safe, even in the state's care. The lady she left her baby with is the guy's girlfriend, Lita. Right, but that's my point. She's saying that the guy told her that was his auntie. And that he made a reference once he told her she had the prostitute. That's when he told her, he first told her. See, that's why I don't understand. Why would he tell you that the baby is with the girlfriend? See, this is where everything gets tricky. Why out of the blue he's going to say, oh, by the way, that girl you left your baby with ain't my auntie. That's my girlfriend. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what made him decide to tell her that it's the girlfriend? Did they have words in the car, outside on the street, what? Eating in a restaurant? Or did he just decide to say, okay, it's time for me to tell this chick, hey, you just left your child with my girlfriend. That ain't my auntie. And hey, I want you to pull a trick for me. That's why I brought you to Nashville. See, you don't even know what to believe. Because if I'm trying to get you to do what I want you to do, if I'm getting ready to use you, I'm not getting ready to tell you nothing that's going to agitate you. Period. Maybe perhaps they had words and then he said to her, oh, by the way, that's why your baby ain't with my auntie. Your baby with my girlfriend. Now get on out there and do what I say. You understand what I'm saying? Something is missing from this story. And I pray for that girl's sake. She's telling the truth. She's not using the people that have got her back to Memphis, South Haven area. That she will be right for her child. Because what'll be sad is if we find out this is a dirty girl, and she ends up getting in something else, and the state gives her baby back to her, and we will be hearing another story. And it won't be about the baby dropped off at the Goodwill, if you get my drift. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below. Thanks for joining me. I'm getting ready to go double up and get the 411. Well, I don't know, Ayana. That's a good point. Maybe they was holding the baby for her to treat. I don't know. See, that's the whole point. We don't know what is the truth. But you have to admit it's an odd story. And I think she didn't know the guy well. Unless she's making all this up, one would have to ask themselves why. But we know that something possibly did jump off in Nashville. That's why she got left. And that's why the people came back and gave that baby over to the Goodwill. It's something funky in this story. And what's going to be sad is if this girl is lying and she's used some people, such as this Miss Burris, to help her and aid her, and people jumped in to go pick her up all the way from Nashville. That means somebody took their time to go get her. And we don't know what else is going on in this girl's life. Do we even know she has a place to stay? Does she have adequate housing? Does she have a car? Does she have money? Does she have a job? See, come on with it. Story. Thanks for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. I will be back later with an update to this story and more hot topics. Thanks a lot. Love you guys. Be safe. Good night.